Guess what, y'all? The doors to the Hustle Humbly community are open from October 17th through the 25th.
We have 2 things coming up this quarter that are going to be really fun. So we're going to have the Hustle Humbly Community Book Club.
Yes.
And I cannot wait to read the book that we have picked out and discuss it with everyone. And then we have Gift Show and Tell.
I really am excited about Gift Show and Tell.
Me too. So we're all going to get together as a community, bring gifts that you like to give. This is all via Zoom. And we will show the gifts that you like to give to either your family, your friends, your clients, and we can all get some good ideas for Christmas. So if you'd like to join us in the community, be sure to sign up. Doors close October 25th. How do they sign up?
Well, you just go to the website, hustlehumblypodcast.com, hit membership. You can join us there. You will belong to our referral network. You will get to be in the private Facebook group. You will get to see live Q&As and live podcast recordings and so much more.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of fun stuff in the community.
I know, it's fun.
It's just been fun like getting to know our people.
Yeah, it's fun. It's nice to find the people.
Yeah.
Okay, so come join us.
We'd love to have you.
We would love to have you.
Who am I to speak on calmness right now when I'm still mad at my children?
Once you put these things into place, how do we measure that it's working?
Yeah, you're fine. You made it.
Get off the ride.
We're here.
We got
Next.
there. Oh, this is the best real estate analogy you have ever had. Not my monkeys.
Yeah.
Not my circus.
Yeah.
Don't put your monkey on my back.
So I finally said, hey, name. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are 2 top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for 2 different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths. Hi, Alyssa.
Are we starting?
Hi, yep.
Okay.
It's episode 167. We were taking deep breaths.
Because you're supposed to breathe from the belly.
I guess. Yeah.
Fill the belly first up to your lungs.
Yeah. Don't
chest breathe. Yeah.
People are like, what in the world is happening right now? We're talking about calm.
Finding your calm
In your real estate business. I like it. So we're going to set the scene. We're doing some deep breathing. Everyone in your car, wherever you are, doing laundry, deep breaths into your belly.
You know what's so funny?
Breathe out.
Lately, you know how you don't hear about something for a long time and then all of a sudden you hear about it all the time?
All the time.
Lately, breathing
is a hot topic.
The importance of breathing has been a super hot topic.
Breathing is really important.
It is really important.
And I just learned a lot about it in my therapy from after my back surgery. I was not breathing correctly at all. I just don't breathe. Like I'm breathing super shallow. So
your body is just doing the minimum to survive, but is not working efficiently for you.
Right, exactly.
You need like a tune-up.
Yeah, I do some round breathing when I feel like stressed or if I wake up in the night feeling upset. Do you know what round breathing is?
Tell me.
You count 4 in, you hold 4, you count 4 out when you're breathing, and then you hold 4 with the breath out. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. This is a technique to calm your whole nervous system down.
When I was little, my aunt had this workout video.
Was it Jane Fonda?
No, but she kind of looked like that.
Okay.
And it was about breathing.
Oh.
And the lady did these we watched it and laughed and laughed. Because the whole point was to exhale as fully as you can.
Okay.
You know, people put a lot of emphasis on breathing in.
Yeah.
But also the exhale was so important. And she would get to the end where she couldn't do it anymore and start making noises.
She was convulsing?
She was just like,
oh my God.
Trying to get as much of the air out of her lungs as she could. So then there was a study where if you changed nothing. Okay, so before I tell you this, one time recently, because we were talking about it at my book club, we get off on these tangents.
Okay.
I Googled, when you lose weight, where does it go?
You breathe it out at night.
You do.
I know. I've read this.
Yeah. So, like,
you were like,
of course,
can't understand.
Right. I'm like, is it your digestive system? Is it, I'm sorry, y'all. It's actually, it comes out as CO2.
Yes. This is
when
correct.
you burn fat, it leaves your body.
Yep.
So they did a study where the people didn't even know what the study was for.
And they were deep breathing?
They didn't, but they didn't know what was being measured.
Okay.
So they didn't know, like, are you trying to figure out sleep? They told the people, we don't want you to start exercising.
Don't change anything.
We don't want you to change what you eat. We're not even going to, what they were measuring is weight loss. But they didn't tell the people that. Okay. So half the group, they said, you do nothing. Just live your life.
Okay.
We want y'all do nothing, but in the morning and at night, we want you to deep breathe. And they, told them how.
Okay.
And those people, all of them, lost weight.
I am loving this so much right now.
Just from breathing.
Just breathing.
Yeah.
Just breathe. What song is that? Just breathe.
Faith Hill. Yes, Faith Hill.
Just breathing.
So when I was doing research about this episode, no matter how many different resources I went to finding calm in your business, finding calm at home, finding calm in, your family life, with your kids, with your clients. It all recommended that you start with breathing.
Okay. Do you want to give us some hot tips for the breathing, though? Because I feel like this is something we can all do.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is that we're in our car a lot.
Okay.
So we have time. Breathing is something we do all the time.
Good news.
So while you're driving,
just not doing it right.
You can take deep breaths.
Okay.
You can turn off your radio. You can actually sit in silence for a minute.
Okay. I love it.
And focus on nothing except driving. And breathing.
And the focus, it's important that you're also focusing on the breathing. So that you're not having all these racing thoughts about other things.
Correct. That's what it does. So also, my husband Tanner is really into, anything health related.
Oh, I love it.
And he loves to try anything.
So is he
And
deep
he
breathing?
has been doing these YouTube breathing exercises.
Okay.
But it goes to show you can YouTube anything and it walks you through it. So while you're in your car, it can be telling you, breathe in, breathe out. Like it can walk you through how long to hold it. If you're feeling anxious before a listing appointment, breathing will calm you.
Good. And maybe we should also hold our hands up because we got to do our power position.
Yes.
You can calm yourself and open yourself up and make yourself big.
Yeah.
All these things.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Anyway, I just thought it was funny that that's what you started off with, because the number one thing I had in my notes was, if you're trying to find calm and clarity and direction, you have to first be able to think clearly, and you can only think clearly if you're getting the appropriate amount of oxygen and releasing the toxins from your body.
Okay, I love that. And you might, as a side note, lose some excess weight you didn't need. What episode were we talking about this before with the clarity and
inner voice?
No, but it was another one just not that far before that where I remember it was talking about, I'll go find it later. But anyway, we do talk about clarity a lot. And I was also going to continue setting our calming scene with a nice candle.
Oh, you're going to light a candle for us?
So while we're talking about our deep breathing, I'm going to light a candle for us. Let's see if it works. These matches sometimes are... Oh, it worked on the first try, YouTube. Sometimes they're very finicky. Okay, so you were a little hesitant when we were about to record this. Shall we talk about it or no?
Well, I just had a not so calm mom parenting moment.
Right.
And so I was like, who am I to speak on calmness right now when I'm still mad at my children?
But remember, podcast therapy. So I think we're going to take this from a business angle, but calm is one of those things that if you're not feeling calm in your life, in your personal life, it pours into your work. And if you're not feeling calm in your work, it can pour into your personal life. And maybe your fuse was a little shorter with your kids because you had a little work stress. Do you know what I mean? Like, they all work. They're all there.
Well, people think they can compartmentalize.
No.
And you can't.
No, they're all there. So one is definitely affecting the other. So we're going to give you some tips on how to make your business more calm, right? Like, how do we get through this very kind of sometimes fast-paced, urgent, such a major thing for our clients, right? Like they're making this huge decision. This is a life-changing event. And we are basically taken along on that emotional roller coaster over and over and over again. Right? Well, I mean, how do you calm down if you're constantly on that roller coaster?
That's the thing. You can't be on the roller coaster.
Right.
You're like the person at the end of the roller coaster that does the lever.
Oh, I love this analogy.
Your clients are on the roller coaster.
You're running the coaster.
I'm running the coaster. I'm like, are you ready? I'm going to pull the lever.
Go.
Boom. And then they're like, ah.
And you're like, don't worry. I've done all the maintenance checks. You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. Buckle up.
I love this
And then
analogy.
like they come back and you're just sitting there and they're like,
and you're like, see, I told you weren't going to die.
Yeah, you're fine. You made it.
Get off the ride.
We're here.
We got
Next.
there. Oh, this is the best real estate analogy you have ever had. That's exactly what it's like, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I told you you'd be okay. You were doing all the crazy stuff, the loop-de-loops. I'm over here just like, next ride's in 5 minutes. You know, you're going to get off. Okay.
I'm going to guide and direct you, make sure you're safe, and make sure we accomplish your goals.
Perfect. So really, it's about you putting out that calming
So one
presence.
time, this is a total side note. One
Please.
time, me and my dad, I'm trying to remember where we were.
Were you on a roller coaster?
Yeah, the Tennessee tornado.
I don't know where that is.
I don't know if it's in Dollywood.
Six Flags? I have no clue.
But me and my dad did a roller coaster contest.
I'm sorry.
And we rode it 12 times in a row.
Did you throw up?
No. I'm a kind of a roller coaster junkie.
Are you?
I
don't like it.
Me and my dad have gone skydiving together. We scuba dive together. You know, I was like a young teen or maybe 11 or 12, and me and my dad did the Tennessee tornado
12
roller
times.
coaster. But it goes to show, I didn't feel, after I got off, I felt a little discombobulated for a bit. Rightfully so. Probably was not a
great
smart
for your
decision.
inner ear.
Yeah, no. But if we ride the roller coaster with every client we have,
Oh, God.
that's how we're going to feel.
It's like going 12 times in a row.
You can't do that.
Your body can't take it.
I mean, when I bought and sold my house, I went through the roller coaster.
Right.
I felt the feels.
Right.
I felt nervous. And then when you're helping others, you can help them without riding the ride.
Agree. Completely agree. There are a couple of episodes in our past that I think are so important here. 48. I didn't realize it was this long ago.
48?
Taking the emotion out of real estate. So because here's the other problem. You're dealing with emotional clients. You're dealing with emotional agents. You're dealing with sometimes emotional lenders. I mean, people are all
feisty.
putting their vibes on you.
Yeah.
Like constantly putting their emotions out, and you're having to like,
Yeah, whoa, no.
Get away.
No.
I don't want this. So 48 is taking the emotion out of real estate, and 85 is the importance of emotional boundaries. So how do you stay off of the roller coaster as the operator? How do you keep yourself from getting on it? Because it's a fine line.
It is.
You might just have accidentally got on, and you got to like, back it up. Got to get off. Got to get off. I'm supposed to be running the coaster.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be on the coaster. So I made this note that you have to be the energy that you want to receive or attract. If you want calm in your real estate business, you can't let the feisty agent pull you off of your peaceful game.
Right.
I have a current deal that the agent, we've talked about this before. Every time she calls me, I answer. And every time she launches into me as if I know why she's upset. I'm like, again, why are we upset now?
Yeah, can you tell me?
I don't even know
Do
what
you
you're talking
use your
about.
Delilah voice?
And my initial reaction is always extreme rage and anger, and I want to just repeat back to her what she does to me.
Right.
I want to be like, no, why would I know? She's so amped up. Like, she comes in at a 10 on every conversation.
Oh, gosh.
At a full-on 10, either she's angry or excited or happy. Like, they're all the different emotions, but it's a 10 all the time.
Yeah.
And she talks so much that I'm able to take the breath because I don't even have time to respond angrily.
Right.
And I take the breath, and she's finishing out, and I'm formulating in my mind, like, what am I going to do with the situation? And then I respond as calmly as I can, and she usually diffuses, okay?
Yeah.
But I can already tell if I went with my initial reaction of, like, I'm angry back or I'm amped up back at you, it's just going to go, like, in circles.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be on that ride. Like, I can't. So you just can't control the people you're going to meet in your real estate career.
So just now, I took a phone call.
Let's hear about it.
And my seller, who is having a emotional attachment to the home we are selling.
Right.
And we are finally under contract at a price that she's not pleased with, but it's a great price.
Okay.
And we are in the inspections, and the buyers are having a secondary roof inspection and a secondary AC inspection.
Okay.
And she is just a ball of nerves. She's so anxious and angry about it.
Right.
And I just got off the phone with her, and I answered when she called, and she said, these people are just making me nuts. I mean, they're going to ask for this. I said, I have a reminder for you. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
If you would prefer to put the house back on the market, when they send their request, you can say no. No one can make you do anything. You're in control.
Right.
You're the seller. So you get to decide what you feel comfortable doing.
Right.
So when we get their repair request finally, we can decide what do we feel is reasonable.
Yeah.
And if you feel it is unreasonable, we say no. And she went, oh, I like that.
Yeah, but she was worked up about something that literally hadn't even happened yet.
I know.
Just the parts of the process are working her up.
Yes. It's dragging out. So she just wants an answer. And I get it. I kind of feel the same way. I'm like, how are we going to make it? I don't know.
You're like, I have to keep diffusing this bomb.
Yes, I do. I do. But it's just a reminder that, like, hey, you're in control.
Yeah.
Nobody can make you do any, because she kept saying, they're going to make me do this and that. I said, wait, stop saying that.
Yeah.
Because that's not the right word, because you don't have to say you don't have to do anything.
You handled that well.
It worked for her.
Because she was like, okay.
Now, I will say it was kind of trial and error with this client, because in the beginning, the conversations were lasting very long.
Oh, no.
Because I was trying to empathize.
No.
But it was fueling, I realized with her specifically, it was fueling the flame.
Right.
And she actually responds better to blunt reality checks, which is great, because that's what I do.
That's your specialty. That's
what I do.
Specialty.
I was like, man, this empathy is for the birds.
And it wasn't working.
It wasn't working with this particular
You're
client.
Like,
but that's fine. And ever since I have stopped letting her go off on like interrupting her and saying, no, I have to stop you, because actually what you're saying is not correct.
Right.
Let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So we have to be the voice of reason sometimes. Yeah. I have shared before, probably in one of the 2 episodes that you mentioned, that there's a lady in my office named Jennifer Richardson. Mm-hmm. And it was like my first year ever in real estate. I never felt calm. I always felt this sense of urgency, even though I didn't know what the urgency was drawing me to do. I felt like I didn't necessarily have a ton of direction. I was trying to overplease every client I had and just came off basically as desperate. But I remember meeting her at sales meeting, and she introduced herself and was like, are you new? And I said, yes. And she's an older lady. She's so funny. I said, yep. And she was like, well, one day you're going to be my age and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh God, no. But I think I asked her, because she's so funny, and I had seen her in sales meetings before. I'm like, but how do you stay so happy?
Right. Like, how are you getting through this?
Yeah. And she said, I just tell people, don't put your monkey on my back.
I am so glad that you said that, because I wrote down, just keep repeating to yourself, not my monkeys. Not my circus. Not my monkeys.
Yeah.
Not my circus.
Yeah.
Don't put your monkey on my back.
No. And you two can see, when she says it, she physically pretends like she's picking up a monkey and like giving it back.
She's like, I can't take this.
And it was the visual. And she said, I love my clients.
Yeah.
I care about my clients. I'm going to help them overcome whatever we need to overcome. But I cannot live through each emotion with them.
No.
I would not be able to. If we're all feeling that way, who's going to save the day?
Right.
No one. No
Who's
one
gonna
can
stop
save
the
the
roller
day.
coaster at the end of the ride.
No, it just keeps going like the Tennessee tornado.
Right. You're just on there forever.
Yeah. And then you get sick.
Don't put that monkey on my back.
I mean, that was almost 12 years ago, and I still think about it all the time. Whenever I'm having a struggle with, feeling what a client feels too much, or I'm reading a book to my kids and thinking about this situation.
Right.
I'm like, this isn't good.
No.
I actually think about physically
just take it off.
Getting the monkey off of me and being like, I can rest knowing I'm doing everything I can to help the situation.
Yes. I think you caught a really important point in that story when you were talking about how you felt. So you felt there was a sense of urgency because you didn't know what you're supposed to be doing.
Correct.
So for our newer agent listeners, that's kind of how the beginning feels. You're always worked up and concerned and nervous, and you're not confident, and you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You feel like everything is like a sense of urgency to get your career off the ground, like a full on. It's not just urgency for a task. It's like, how do I make this work? Like, because it's hard to be patient for those first couple of years. And I feel like knowing how to do the simplest task and being confident in how you do them is probably where you handle this. Like, you don't know what to do. Well, how do you work with the buyer?
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you do from the beginning all the way to the end? How do you work with a seller? What do you do from the beginning all the way to the end? If you don't know how to do that, how are you going to learn a way to do that and to have those? So our good old friend systems.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the systems in place, then you don't have to feel that kind of uneasy urgency, like, okay, well, I got a client and now I don't know what to do, or I don't know how to get a client. Like, you just don't even have a system for anything.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but when I meet with people who don't know me that well, and they're like, how do you manage all of these transactions? Like, how do you not just drop the ball or forget something? And I'm like, well, there's nothing in my email that says anybody needs anything. So my system of making sure everybody has what they need is that when they ask for it, I do it and I take it off my plate.
Right.
So I have my systems in place and I keep a tidy email.
Right.
And so it's just not that hard for me.
Right.
But that's just what works for me.
Right. But if you don't have a list of the steps or a checklist or a process in place, then you always kind of feel uneasy, like you're forgetting something.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to be? I'm sure I'm supposed to be doing something right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even before you have those clients, you feel like, well, wait, what is that agent doing? What is that agent doing? How do they get business? And then you feel like you have to do all of those things. Well, I better go and knock on doors and put on the little door hanger, and I better send mail to all of my database, and I better go buy online leads, and I better go have a social media strategy. And you're getting buried under all these things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know what to do, so I better do all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really tough to handle. You can't be calm. You cannot be calm while you're doing all of it.
I did find some tips.
Oh, let's hear it.
The first one was breathe.
Okay, well, I like that. You know what? Because that is very simple. And although we're kind of joking a little about it, literally this will help you. And that's a mindset shift. Take a minute, take a breath. Are you feeling how are you sitting at your desk?
Right.
Are you hunched over? Are you tense? Are you forgetting to breathe? Have you not drank water lately? I remember Jenna Kutcher kind of walking through this in an episode of the podcast. Stop what you're doing. How are you driving? Are you gripping the steering wheel really tight? What literally are you physically feeling at that moment?
The other day, I was getting my nails done, and she said, relax your hand. And I was like,
it is.
And she's like, no, relax your hand. And then it took a second, and I was like, oh, I felt it. Relax. And I'm like, am I that tense? I didn't even notice. Sometimes I feel like myself personally, I seem very calm, cool, and collected, and I even feel it. Mm-hmm. But I hold the tension physically.
In the muscles. Oh, physically. Me too. Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. That's mom life.
I have to be, yeah.
It's it's stored deep in your tissue.
It's deep in there.
I know. So the breathing, though, helps get that out.
It does. Yes.
You have to release. Yes. These are these are practices that you have to literally practice. It's not going to be like, oh, today I learned how to breathe and I'm good and I breathe. No, you have to have constant reminders. Just like people
you have to breathe all the time.
Who do like meditation as a practice. It's sure they might get better at getting to like kind of that quiet, calm place faster, but they're not like, it's not riding a bike, okay?
Right.
Just because you figured out the right way to breathe once doesn't mean every breath you take is perfect and you are having calming breaths every day. You got to like remember, like, so there needs to be a trigger, like
a prompt.
There's got to be a prompt.
In the Hustle Humbly community for book club, we read Atomic Habits.
Right.
So good.
So good.
One of the tips was you can't just say, I'm going to drink this much water every day. It's not going to work. You're not going to actually,
no,
because you don't have a plan or a reason to execute it. And so they had to make prompts. So for example, I can't drink my cup of coffee until I drink my first glass of water.
Perfect.
After I finish my coffee, I drink another glass of water.
Right.
Before lunch, I drink a glass of water.
Right.
At lunch, etc.
Yes.
You have these prompts. So before I answer the phone, when the phone rings, I quickly take a deep breath in, take a deep breath. That's your prompt.
Do you really do that? That's a great idea.
Well, it was in the research I read.
What a genius idea. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
What do we mention almost every episode?
Email templates.
You're right. We sure do. And after every time we mention an email template, do you know what we get?
Emails asking if they can have copies of the email template.
Can you send me a copy of that template? I've never had one like that. That sounds great. And you know what the good news is?
What?
You can get all of our email templates from our course, Email Templates 101. Tell the people about it.
Our course has all of the email templates you would need to send to your buyers and your sellers and your clients that are buying and selling at the same time.
Exactly.
To get through every step of the transaction and giving them information that they need for where they are in the transaction.
It's great because you never forget to tell them something.
Yes, and we've already done all the work for you.
Yeah.
We wrote them and you can personalize them.
Yes.
And just feel organized knowing that you have all the information where it needs to be.
And if you purchase Email Templates 101, you do get lifetime access. So occasionally we like to go in and make updates based on the market, or if we find a new best practice and we put that right into the template and you get that updated straight away.
It just goes straight to your course?
Yep. Right. It's just there. It's already in there.
It's just
already in there. You don't even have to worry about it. We'll send you an email and we'll say updated.
That's great. Where can they find these email templates?
You can find the email templates at emailtemplates101.com.
Emailtemplates101.com.
Yes, head over for reviews and all of the specifics.
Wonderful.
Okay, enjoy.
Or before, I need to work on this one because it's kind of like impulse control too. So like when Haven's like, I don't like this dinner that she ate last week, all of it, making that my prompt instead of just immediately being like, well, last week you said you liked it, just making it be your prompt. Now, here's the thing though. You have to do it enough times to become a habit.
Right.
So I can't just say, every time my kid aggravates me, I'm going to take a deep breath in and out.
Right.
It's not because you can't just say that. You have to actually put it into practice until it becomes like your default.
Yeah.
So your prompt is the kid complains.
Right.
Oh, I have to take a deep breath and then I speak.
Yeah. I love that.
But it's the prompt.
Right. So it was your friend with the push-ups and the...
Yes. So he wanted to do push-ups. So he said, while the coffee brews, I just do push-ups on the kitchen floor until it finishes.
Right. So here's a hot tip for calming. Why don't you do your 10 breaths while your coffee is brewing? Right? Mm-hmm. You're already like in a place where you're about to be calmed by your coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do the breathing before.
In fact, you may need to monitor your caffeine intake if you're feeling too stressed out because caffeine elevates the heart rate and causes feelings of stress and anxiety.
That's a good tip.
So just be sure that you're monitoring.
Maybe you don't need the coffee
today.
You don't
need the coffee today.
Maybe just the deep breathing.
Maybe just a 1 cup in the morning and nothing the rest of the day.
Let it go.
Evaluate. Okay, that's step 2.
Okay.
After you have...
How many steps are there?
4.
Oh, great. I didn't know there was a number.
Yes. Reflect and evaluate. Actually, so if you're in your business and you're like, I cannot get it together. Mm-hmm. I hang out with a lot of realtors.
I know.
Okay. And even when I go do CE at our board in person and see everyone, they cannot help but just
they put
I have
the frazzle vibes.
Oh,
the way they run out of the room to use their phone when the breaks happen is what always throws me off. I'm like, whoa, what kind of fires are you putting out? Because I'm just like,
every day seems to be fires or a struggle or a stressful day every day.
It's like your friend that always has all the drama, and then you start to realize the common denominator is them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, step 1 was what?
Breathe. Step 2, reflect and evaluate. So you really have to ask yourself first, what is working?
Okay.
So for example, I'll do this exercise myself.
Oh.
I feel like what is working is I have always forever been able to keep a tidy email. It works for me.
Perfect.
It's what keeps my brain. So email, good, great. What is working? Putting away my phone in the evenings totally helps me.
Okay.
So what's not working?
Oh, let's hear it. Are you going to share us
So for example, sometimes I drop the ball on sending like the utility email 7 days before closing.
Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one a lot.
You know, that's a hard one because you really have to
because closing kind of moves around.
Yes, that's what happens.
Yeah.
The closing gets moved around, and then that date that I put on my calendar for that particular email no longer applies, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So figuring out, okay, what are the things that are stressing me out? Is my buyer sending me houses via text all the time?
Right.
And it causes me to look at my phone while I'm eating lunch and going, oh, I got to do that. Maybe now I say, hey, Mr. Buyer, would you mind sending this to me in an email so I can make notes and check the flood zones when I get back to my computer? Thank you.
Thanks.
So it's about being aware because I think that's the biggest thing is a lot of realtors, because they don't have systems in place.
Yeah.
They don't even know what is working.
What's stressing me
What
out?
is not working.
Right.
I just feel stressed all the time.
All the time. Well, they also don't shut it off. Are you done with your tips? You have one more?
So after you reflect and evaluate with what's working, what's not working, you have to make changes.
Okay.
So this can be asking for help, hiring, like maybe you need like an admin to just keep track of all these things, or you want an admin to handle some of your newsletter stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like we just talked about in the episode. But just figuring out what is working, what's not working, and then getting support for the rough areas.
Okay.
Whenever I was reading about this, they said, but the problem is they give it like a week and that's not working. But you actually have to give things the changes like a little bit of time, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, depending what the change is.
Yeah.
And seeing, is it making me feel better? Do I feel like this is handled?
I think you also have to check in with yourself, because we also get in a pattern of believing that we're under stress or worried or worked up or not calm. And then you maybe don't even realize, yes, these practices are making me feel better. I'm less often saying I'm totally overwhelmed right now. Like, but when are you checking in with yourself? What are I guess you kind of need to know, what are the measures to figure it out? Like, do I have to have 2 glasses of wine every night because I'm so stressed out and I can't wind down?
Yeah.
It's like, but so what, once you put these things into place, how do we measure that it's working?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that what you just said is a great example. Wow, I don't feel like I need 2 glasses tonight.
Right.
Maybe I just need 1. And then the next night you're like, I just want a bubble bath.
Right.
If there's areas that are triggering that, sometimes I get like that with coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So this transition to kindergarten has me waking up an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Which we were just discussing. And I used to just drink 1 coffee in the morning, and that was it for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Now I find myself at 2 o'clock.
You're like, whoa.
Oh my gosh, I really
There's a lot of this day left.
Yes, I'm really struggling. I need a pick me up,
Okay.
So then I drink coffee, but it doesn't really seem to help. It kind of just makes me like, my sister's a night shift nurse, and she just posted on her Instagram stories, when you drink that 3rd cup of coffee, but all it does is elevate your heart rate, but not actually make you feel more awake. And I was like, yes,
that's how I feel.
That's sometimes how I feel sometimes. Like sometimes you actually just need to move around or get outside, go for
movement.
Like a 5-minute walk.
Right.
Like there's so then I realized after 2 weeks, like this isn't working.
Right.
I just knew.
Right.
Like, So then I just started going and walking in my driveway
What a great idea.
Just
take a little walk. I have a great story. Last night, it's the beginning of school. As we're recording this, it's the beginning of school. Like, we're just getting into these early mornings, these routines, having to wake up a little earlier. By, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, I am like so tired. I'm just like so tired. Last night, and my real estate business has been really busy. And so it's just been like, kind of like, you just feel like you're constantly moving, right?
Yeah.
So I was feeling so tired last night after dinner. I'm like, look, I'm going to lay down in the bed. I'm going to watch some TV. I'm going to calm down and relax. Well, no one had played with the dog all day because it's been raining. So he hadn't really done any of his activity. He came in there, he gets on the bed, and then he keeps dropping the toy off like a game for me to pick up. With every time that I had to get up and pick up that toy, I just was getting more and more aggravated and more. And I'm like, I'm so tired. My body hurts. I just need to rest. I don't want to get up and pick up this toy. And then I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. I got the kids. We went outside. We walked the dog.
Aww.
I thought my body was like at the end of what it could handle for the day. But the little leisurely walk got all the energy out of the dog. And I totally was like, fine. I saw a nice sunset. Everything was okay. So breathing and walking are probably the easiest things you can do.
Nature. Like just being.
Get outside.
Yeah.
Walk. It doesn't have to be a fast walk.
I mean, being outside is the only thing that makes Tate stop crying.
Almost all babies.
Yeah.
It's like
I think it goes back to like our biology.
Yeah, like just being out of the box you're in.
Yeah.
Like the house that you're in.
Yeah. That's why like sometimes I say just for fun, like change up your work environment.
That makes sense.
Like before kids, I went to New Orleans one day and just worked in New Orleans at a coffee shop just to change it up.
Just like, okay, get out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you just have to, get up and move. Do your breathing. Just be mindful, though. How are you feeling? What things are triggering you, and how can you step away from them? Okay. Any more of your list?
That was the tips.
Good. Okay. Perfect. All right. So here's where I think a lot of people struggle in real estate. They don't know how to shut it off.
Correct.
Ever. And we talk about this all the time. But one of the easiest things you can do, and you can go listen to Anna Kornick, one of her very first episodes, I think, is shutdown routine. What is and it can be so basic. What is the routine that tells your brain you are going from work hours to non-work hours, okay? And do not tell me that you have to be on call 24/7. You should probably either go back and re-listen to the whole podcast or don't listen at all because that's not true.
Yeah.
You do not have to work 24/7. So what are the things you do? And mine simply is like, I finish, clean up my email, close out my browser tabs, close the laptop. Maybe I had a candle on in my office. Blow out the candle, turn off the light, leave the room. Shutdown routine.
Yes. Work is over.
Complete. I have literally left the space. This is why I also say that you have to pick a space if you're working at home that is always the space where you work. If you don't have a dedicated office I'm fortunate to have, and you do, where I know this is the office.
Yes.
I don't do anything in here except for work. So if I'm not in here, I'm not working. If I am in here, I'm probably working. If you have to work at your dining room table, that's fine. But just make sure that there's like a routine to unoffice it.
Yeah, like maybe when you're done at the table, you put your laptop away, you put a vase back on the table.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You just have to shift, like now it's an office.
That kind of goes back to Atomic Habits, I think. Like just actually physically doing something that tells your brain, hey, we're good now.
Right. This is what we're doing.
Yes.
We can do this. We can do hard things. The other thing I think that helps when you feel like you're not always on, but like you're always overwhelmed and you don't know if you've done everything, you should have a weekly check-in built into your business. If you have transactions, whether they're buyers that are current, like warm, hot buyers, current active listings, or under contract, transactions, you need a weekly check-in. It does not take that long.
Well, that's me opening my Trello.
Right.
And just quickly glancing at the pendings, everything's good. The active buyers, the potential sellers. Is there anyone I need to check in to see?
Exactly.
Or if somebody emails me and is like, hey, look, we're having the house power wash in 2 weeks and then I think we'd be ready. I need to put that on my calendar. Like, hey, in 2 weeks, I need to remember to check in with this person. Anytime someone gives you a date further out, your brain is going to feel nervous
until
that they're going to forget it.
Yeah.
So if you write it down, it just takes it off your plate. You don't have to always have it lingering.
Right. How can I get these balls out of my court?
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
Like just so that I can calm down.
That's exactly like what I asked myself. Like, how can I give them homework?
Right.
I'm actually, maybe I'll get some advice from you. On Saturday night, I got a text that was like, hey, Alyssa, so-and-so referred me to you. I think I might want to do a 1031 exchange. I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. It was a long text and it was nighttime. And I said,
on a Saturday.
And I just responded and said, hey, no problem. I'd be so happy to help you. I actually did a 1031 exchange myself. I know which attorneys do it. Here's my email address. Do you mind just sending me like a little bit about your information, the addresses and things? Well, they never responded to the text or emailed me. You know?
Right.
And I'm like, but my brain
thought it was in the queue.
Mm-hmm. But I'm realizing sometimes when I do that, it's totally out of sight, out of mind. And I just take it as the way the world is supposed to be.
Yeah, right.
I put the ball in their court.
This didn't work out.
And if they do what they're supposed to do, great. We're on the right track to you being the type of client I want.
Right.
If you don't do it and I have to constantly hold your hand or check in and be like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Guess what? It's not quite the type of client that I want.
Right.
So I'm at this place where I'm like,
do I push it or do I just dodge the bullet?
Right. I don't know. I can't decide. If I do it, if I check in again, I need to do it soon. I need to,
Well, I think the second check-in is fine, just to be like, hey,
just
I didn't hear back from you.
Yeah,
Did you need anything else?
But here's the thing. Some agents are trained to like check in till it's just
until they tell you to stop.
Right.
This is not a way I want to address other humans in my life, whether it's personally or professionally. I do not want to force you to have to basically break up with me, tell me to leave you alone, yell, like feel like,
and this is
you
something
again.
I went through as a new agent because I was doing a lot of phone duty.
Yeah.
So I accumulated this long list because I was documenting everybody. Right. So I was like, hardcore. But I will tell you, maybe every now and then there was a success story where on the 70th time they responded.
They're like, fine.
But was it worth all that time to get that one deal? No. I don't know. I think it goes back to that episode we just did about I don't want to be everyone's realtor. Yeah. And this doesn't matter if you have a ton of business or not. If it's someone that you know is not going to be good for you or work the way that you want to work, or they have a schedule that only allows for showings when is the hardest time for you.
Okay, right.
It's okay to say, listen, I usually cannot work after 5 every day.
Right.
If that's what you need, it may not work out. I don't go to that area. Yeah. I don't go that far. It's okay to let things go.
Have you ever heard that saying, bless and release?
Oh, no, but I like it.
What?
No, tell me
just
about
like bless and release. Like if this isn't if this isn't the client for me, if they didn't contact me back, because we're trying to talk about how to be calm within the your business. Yeah. If someone rejects you or doesn't respond to you, instead of you being like, oh, it feels so bad. I must suck. They didn't want to work with me or they didn't respond to me. Or I've got this constant to-do list thing on my list because they won't respond to me. Just bless and release.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that wasn't for me. We're moving on. I love when, the people who do like mindset and, all the law of attraction friends, they are always talking about letting, things flow through you or letting things happen the way, you don't have to resist everything.
Yeah.
You just let it be.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be. They didn't respond back. Well, they started off on the wrong foot because they texted you on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Is that really someone I'm hardcore going to press to try and be my client?
Right. And then when I did respond and said, hey, perfect, just shoot me an email so I can understand your information.
They didn't even say thanks.
No, they didn't.
I mean, Alyssa, I take it all back. Do not contact them again. Honestly, if you were reaching out to a professional about anything, would you ever say, I'm going to do that Saturday night at 8 p.m.?
Right.
I've never talked to this person before in my life.
Right.
This is the first impression.
They probably are doing nothing. So I have an example. I like the real life examples. Please. I had a lady who I didn't really, I don't know her. She was like, you sold my neighbor's house, okay? And I think I want to sell my house. This was back in March.
Okay.
So I said, great, I would love to help you. What's your email address? I have like a photos checklist. Well, so I sent her that and I've been following up with her. I don't know why. You're going to laugh at how many times I followed up with this lady. Okay?
Oh my God.
Look, this is all me. Okay.
Wait, she never responded?
No.
And you kept doing it?
But because then it just became like a thing. And I kept checking the address to see if she listed with somebody else.
Alyssa, this is hilarious. What made you follow up so hard?
The neighborhood is right by me.
Oh, you're like, I really would like to take this listing.
I love the neighborhood. The phone call was so great.
You're like, we were friends.
And then I sent her the information and she responded and said, thank you so much. This is so helpful.
Did she ever respond to a text?
Okay, so
like,
listen.
Does she just not? Okay, go.
Okay, so then she stopped responding. And so March 17th, hey, it's Alyssa, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. March 3rd, and I'm just reading. So
please tell me this is a landline. Is the end of the story that this is a landline?
No. This is her cell phone number.
Okay, keep going.
This just goes to show sometimes it just doesn't work out. This is an example where I did everything right.
Right.
And at this time.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work out in the future, but it's not working out right now.
No.
And I had her in my Trello. So every time I was cleaning out my Trello, I sent her a message.
Right.
And I alternated. Sometimes it was an email. Sometimes I left her like 6 voicemails.
Nothing?
Since March. Yeah, nothing. I thought she died. I don't know. I wrote letters after.
Alyssa, this is relentless.
I was kind of on I was kind of doing an experiment, if you will.
You're like, can I turn this lady?
Yeah. Okay.
She called you originally?
Yes.
This is wild.
I hate when people call you and then reject you.
I'm hoping this story has an ending, but I fear it does not.
It is a funny ending.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to read y'all March 17th, March 30th, April 4th, June 6th, June 21st, June 29th, July 16th, and then Monday this week.
Monday?
This Monday.
Oh my God.
So instead of it saying, all the other times has just been like, hey, just checking in.
Did this one say, would you like me to stop contacting you? Oh, God, please tell me what you said. Read us the text.
So since March.
No response.
Ghost City after a great phone call and
y'all
email.
Y'all are besties.
And I'm just like making it my little experiment at this time. You know?
Okay.
So I finally said, hey, name. Let me know if you would like me to take you off of my follow-up list. Or if you still are in need of a realtor, I would be happy to help. Just let me know either way.
Okay.
Please remove. My situation has changed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I said, will do. I will be here in the future if ever you need me. But I just wanted to know what happened. I don't care.
Meanwhile, me, after the second text, would have been like, their situation changed.
Well, that's normally me.
I want everyone listening to take note of how many times Alyssa followed up with this person. I mean, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with what you did. You did it all right.
Yeah.
And you were like, I need someone to tell me. You weren't aggressive. These were like a text message every couple of weeks. It's not like
between the text messages,
an email.
I put her up on her monthly subdivision report. She's still on that.
Great. Maybe she'll show up later when her situation isn't changed
again. But I don't know how we got off on this tangent. I think it's that it's okay. I'm not upset about this.
Right.
A lot of agents, and we get messages sometimes from people that are very upset about a situation. You know, we tend to at times take things so personal.
Right.
Or really feel like it's about us.
Well, we don't have boundaries between who we are and our work.
Right. So we feel if they have rejected our services, they have rejected us. I am not worthy.
Not worthy.
I am angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can hear it in the tone. And I think sometimes you just have to bring it back.
No kidding.
Bring it back and put into perspective that it's okay.
It's totally okay. I wanted to also mention that I've been thinking, and I live my life as an under-scheduler. I like to keep things under-scheduled. I don't like to overcommit. I want space. But I think that leaving space in your real estate schedule is really important. So I wouldn't, first of all, you don't want to overfill a day. Mm-hmm. Can you do listing photos and showings and an inspection and some all on the same day? Sure. Yeah, you can probably manage it. Are you going to be running like a crazy, and are you going to skip lunch? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
and how do I feel when I skip lunch? Hangry.
Not good. Not calm.
Right.
Not calm.
And then if I have back-to-back-to-back appointments, I'm not checking my email usually.
Nope. Overflowed.
Yeah.
So why you are in the driver's seat for most of your appointments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like inspections, they're usually going to run through. Can you do it this day? No. Going to have to be the next day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Closings. You picked the closing date on your buyer's contract. Was it on your standard office day? That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You picked that day.
I was just about to say, office days keep me so grounded.
Yeah.
They really just keep me feeling proactive instead of constantly reactive.
Yeah.
And look, y'all, like we've said, if you can't schedule a whole day where you don't see clients, make it an office half day.
Yes.
Start somewhere.
Designated
But
time.
I will tell you, once you start like a half day, you're going to want a whole day.
Right.
But it has to be weekly.
Yeah, it has to be weekly because then it's like you can pull up admin and get it done at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not having to feel that stress that something's always needing to be addressed because you can do your weekly check-in at that time. You can make sure that all of the transactions are where they need to be or all the email templates are sent or whatever you need to do is done during that time frame. So you've got to block that office time. And you really should block off your off day. I understand that might move, but what's your process? What's your system? Yeah. Is it Saturday is your off day if you don't have appointments, but you'll have appointments Sunday? Is it vice versa? Do you always take off Tuesday? I think that very rarely do agents say, oh, I'm off on this day.
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
It's hard.
And then when something comes up, you feel like you have failed your boundaries and, it's okay. Give yourself some grace.
There's no other industry where they expect you to work 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
The public or your clients, like no one is going to say, oh, wait, you're not available today. Well, then I'm going to go find another agent. Yeah, maybe that happens sometimes, but you at least are living your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think scheduling is a huge part of being able to stay calm and have a calm feeling.
In that side note, I had one of my personal tips was to defer things. So if somebody needs something, it's totally okay to respond with, no problem, I will do that on Wednesday.
Right.
If you know your office day is like right around the corner no problem, I'll do that first thing in the morning.
Right.
But make sure it's, a time that you can
accommodate.
And when you mentioned scheduling the buyer's close date, same thing. We were just talking about this in the community about offer response times.
Oh, right.
I always put, depending on when I write the offer, my two go-to response times are 10 a.m. the next morning. That gives you all evening. That gives you the next morning to get your paperwork together to respond to the offer. Or if I'm sending it like early in the morning or, first thing, maybe I give you until 3 p.m.
Right.
Because I pick my kids up at 4.
Right. So response time at 5 is not good.
No, I don't want a response at 5. And then I had this happen once where it was like a response time of 5, say. And I was in the middle of dinner. And I did not have my phone on me. And I did dinner, I did the kids' bath, and then I put them to bed, and it was like 7:30, and I had like all of these text messages and missed calls from my client in the 2 hours that I wasn't, because they were like, did they respond? And I'm like, I had even out of sight, out of mind.
You're like, I'm living my life.
Yeah, I was not at a place where I could handle that transaction right then. It had to wait 2 hours and it was fine. And I said, hey, I'm so sorry. I was getting the kids to bed. Yes, I just checked my email. They did respond. But that's why I don't put
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. You have to really be mindful of your schedule and like what works for you.
And your family and your life outside of work. Because you don't just work.
Right.
You live.
And that's good.
It's needed.
That's good.
I also made a note that you probably need a system. If you're feeling overwhelmed in your business because you're busy, then what is the system for overflow leads? What happens when you get a referral from a past client, maybe in an area you would work, but you're so busy that you can't work? What happens? This is, again, a system or a process. Do you have an agent that you partner with to refer to? Do you have a showing partner? Like what is the process if you're like, ooh, I'm really feeling like I'm at the end of my capacity, like I can't take anything else? You can't just keep piling.
Right.
Because something has to suffer.
Yeah.
Right? Like then you don't get to go home to dinner. Like what?
what's going to work.
Right. So I think having that in place is important. The other thing I want to address, when I thought about calm in your real estate business, finding calm, I think we have to talk about market-specific anxiety.
Okay.
So having market awareness, if you're new and you're in a shifting market, which most of us are, you might be uncomfortable because maybe you started off great and you were busy and now it's like crickets or whatever the case may be. It is so important. Like you and I, even probably me more than you, because I dealt with a crash. I'm not worried that people are going to stop buying houses and I will never work again. Like just because the market shifts, I'm like, you know what? It's a slower time. Yes, maybe I have to make some financial sacrifices, but I'm not worried. I'm not like over the top worrisome because I know that real estate is a cyclical business, that shifts will happen and then the market will change again. Like you can't watch the news.
Okay.
Is this where you're going?
I had notes about who do you follow?
Right.
Who do you hang out with?
Right.
I always feel calm after podcast days.
Yeah.
Hanging out with you because I'm like, I feel like we operate similarly, even though we're very different.
Yeah.
And it's always refreshing to hang out with someone that doesn't feel like they have to die for real estate every day. Right. But then there are some friends that after lunch with them, I feel
you're
inadequate.
Like, oh my God.
I mean, it's just you absorb who you hang out with and what you see and what you watch. In fact, like it wasn't even a big deal, but I love my newsworthy podcast, but there was just like a week where it was kind of the same thing, like over and over again. And I was like, I
don't need to hear about this.
I didn't even tune in. Like I just took a break for a week and then went back to it and it was fine. That issue was over. So it's like, what are you following on Instagram? If there's someone, even if it's a good thing, but it just makes you feel less than, maybe mute them.
That's what I had in mind. Remove yourself from stressful or comparison-filled situations online.
Yes.
If you have to leave the real estate Facebook group, leave it or turn off the notifications. If you have, mute friends. If it's a geographical place in real life that does this to you, if it's going into your office and there's someone there that always is like stressing you out, just don't go for a few days if you don't have to. Like just remove yourself from the situations that make you feel stressed out. And again, this requires you to consistently check in with yourself. How do you feel when you are in said Facebook group?
Right.
How do you feel when you go into your office to just, get some office work done, but you're like, I'll just do it here.
Yeah.
How do you feel? What happens? Take stock of what's going on in your life. I also wanted to say that please be aware that when the market shifts, not everything is urgent. Maybe your buyers don't have to see it today. Like maybe 6 months ago in your area they did, but maybe and it's so hard because when you get used to doing it one way, it's getting that through that shift part. And we have episodes obviously recorded about this recently. It's hard because you're like, well, wait a minute. Why am my natural instinct is to, we got to go right now.
Yeah, because that's where we've been living.
But we don't. And so same thing though with my sellers. I'm like, you're not going to get an offer on day one, maybe. If you get a showing on day one, celebrate. If you get an offer on day 5, great. Like, that's still really good.
Yeah.
But it's like those expectations can make you feel like everything's urgent and there's stress.
Yeah.
Just got to let it go. I also noted that maybe you take a last minute trip or a random extra day off if it slows. So the market shifts, things happen slow. It's hard. It's a business that's hard to predict, right?
You know what I just brought back?
What?
I used to do this so before COVID, I got a massage every other week.
Okay, I love it.
I know it's kind of a lot, but it was just like my thing.
Right.
I loved it. I scheduled around it.
Okay.
I had it on my off day. And then COVID happened. And then my go-to girl didn't come back ever. And I just thought, well, I just recently found a new one right by my house.
Love it.
And I am, for the last 2 months, every other week I get one.
And so you feel calm.
I do. It helps.
That's so good. So schedule the time for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You have to put it in the schedule.
Yeah, if you can take 2 days off, don't feel bad. Don't feel like, man, I didn't really work this week.
Or even take a half day.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. Well, good news. Your afternoon opened up. That listing appointment canceled. Something happened. All right. Maybe it's time to just go take a nap.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
That's great. That's balance.
I love a nap.
Oh, me too. I also noted that you need to trust the process. So are you doing what you need to do with your database? Then it's okay to take a day off. Like, you have to kind of have a big picture of your business in order to feel calmness in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I know that my business comes from this particular lead source. And I have all this in place to make sure that's still working. Then I'm fine.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing anything and you don't know where your next client is coming from, I could see how it'd be really hard to relax.
The nights that I have had trouble falling asleep are usually the nights where I'm like, I knew I didn't do something I should have done that day.
You needed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's just on your mind and you can't get it off. So
Yeah.
if you're diligent with your time.
I know. That's really the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just being aware of what needs to be done and getting it done.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to remove some of those superfluous activities. Like, sure, an agent tour would be fun. Sure, I'd like to go to my office sales meeting. Like something, but maybe I want to take every class that they offer. But maybe you need to make a choice. Well, I only get to one class a week because I got to get a half day of office day.
Yeah.
And I can't trade my office day because I'm going to a class.
Mm-mm.
It cannot work.
Yeah.
That's under scheduling, though.
Yeah.
Got to leave the spaces.
I leave spaces so much because I just know, for me, I need time to be able to address emails and get in there. You can't just always be away from your phone and computer.
Nope. Anything else about calm?
It kind of goes back to how we always say, be the agent. We want our Hustle Humbly listeners to be the agents that other agents want to work with, that people want to work with.
Yep.
Be different.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be the agent at the CE that's like, oh, I just have to have my laptop out the whole time because I can't actually function taking 2 hours to sit through this class.
This is ridiculous to me.
And I've said before, that team leader that always is on me, I liked when he talks to me for me to be like, I'm great. Business is great. How are you?
Right.
I'm content.
Right.
I'm happy.
I don't need to be at a 10
I'm
all
calm.
the time.
Yeah.
Like, go, 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 go.
Right.
Maybe that's their personality. Maybe that's what works for you.
Kind of like, I want people to look at me and be like, wow.
Right.
Wow, you can actually like function and sell real estate at the same time. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
It's like such a puzzle.
I know.
It's a mystery.
I like being a little bit of a mystery.
Yeah,
So be that person. Be the one that's different that other agents want to work with.
Well, you know what? This is equivalent to being present in your life at any time. Do you have to have your phone at lunch with your friend? Nope. Do you have to have it at dinner with your family? Nope. Like, how present are you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're present in your real estate business while you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you'll get it done faster and then you'll have more time.
Perfect. This was good. Good old podcast therapy.
Do you feel calmer?
Thank you, Delilah.
Thank you for joining us for podcast therapy. Breathe, deep breath in and out. I do, especially when Ainsley was a little bit younger, I would do meditations for her at night. She had trouble.
I've been doing them with Hayden.
Going to sleep. So I do them because what's more soothing than your own mother's voice?
Wow.
After a while, I would record a couple and she could play them on like her little iPad or whatever.
Oh, that's neat.
Because she loved them. And I'm like, okay, sometimes it's a lot to like.
Yeah, every night we meditate.
You know, we're near the side of the stream. We're picking up the soft round rock.
You do have a very soothing voice.
Thanks. I really try hard not to get people all amped up.
Right.
Okay, are you ready for a toast?
I am.
Fab. This toast comes to us from community member Brittany Wheeler.
Okay.
Brittany would like to toast to Amber Weghorn from the Coldwell Banker Real Estate. We've known each other for years, and when she found out I was pursuing real estate, reached out to let me know about the Hustle Humbly podcast and guided her during the journey. She says the Hustle Humbly podcast has led to realistic expectations that I didn't have before.
Great.
So, we should say thank you to Amber for sharing the show. That's so nice, though. That's so easy, too.
Yeah.
You can be so supportive of the people around you just by sharing resource.
Sure.
Like, this is easy. So cheers to Amber.
Cheers.
Thank you to Brittany. And y'all take some deep breaths and just relax.
Yeah, everything's okay.
Everything is okay. All right, goodbye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast. Let us know who we should toast to for the next episode.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hustle Humbly Podcast. If you have an episode, topic, or question, please email us at hustlehumblypodcast@gmail.com.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. See you next week. Bye.
This is the good life.